Hello, my dear friends. I welcome you all to EduTap. Myself, Rittika, and in today's lecture, I'm going to discuss with you, I'm going to share with you the success mantra for current affairs if you're preparing for RBI Grade B examination. Guys, if you're preparing for RBI Grade B exam for the upcoming year, you must be having a lot of doubts related to current affairs. And why so? For the students who do not know that current affairs hold a very high weightage, let me tell them that current affairs are relevant not only for your phase 1 of the examination, wherein 80 marks of GA section is mostly related to current affairs only. Then in your phase 2, your descriptive papers, English descriptive paper, almost 50% paper is considered to be oriented towards current only. The type of essays that are asked are driven from your current affairs topics only, right? Then your ESI and FM paper, they're also descriptive as well as objective questions have current affairs weightage. So I can say that more than 50% of your paper 2 and even paper 1 and paper 3 from your phase 2 are driven from current affairs. And I hope nevertheless you know that how important current affairs are for the interview round of many examinations are based on current affairs. Like one of the most important pillars for interview preparation is current affairs. So this is the relevance of the current affairs in RBI Grade B examination. So you must be having a lot of doubts like how important are current affairs, which I've tried to address right now. What sources to refer? When is the right time to start the preparation of current affairs? Is newspaper mandatory? Are the government schemes relevant for the examination? What type of current events do I need to prepare? So these are just few of the examples I have taken. A lot of concerns you guys have that we have seen through the conversation with the students. So guys, I'll try to address all these concerns of you so that you can not only ace current affairs, but you can also clear the examination by getting to know and understanding and then implementing your understanding for clearing this examination as far as current affairs is concerned. So moving on, I would like to first of all share with you what all topics are under current affairs. This is very important for you to understand before I move on to your other questions. So guys, broadly, if we talk about current affairs, there are three things: current events, reports and indices, and government schemes. So these are three broad topics we can say are the soul of current affairs. If you, these have been divided by us for your ease understanding the requirement of the examination. If you are able to understand it, if you are able to adapt to it for your preparation, it will be really beneficial to you. No one can stop you from clearing this examination if you understand this point here, right? I'll share with you what all to cover in these things, okay? Then you'll get to know the answers of all the questions that you had in your mind. So starting off with current events, how are they different from the reports and indices and government schemes? So guys, current events, when we say, they are broadly, as far as RBI is concerned, they are broadly of two types. One is your ESI related, other is your finance or RBI related. So when I say ESI or finance, I am talking about your phase 2. I hope you've got to know that. Your ESI and finance are the papers in phase 2. So if you prepare these current events or these current affairs, guys, seeing the pattern of the examination, you do not need to have a separate preparation for phase 1. There are but obvious few GA topics that we will try to come up with another video, right? But if these topics, these things are covered for phase 2, these are already being covered for phase 1 given the pattern of the examination. There is not much time in between phase 1 and phase 2. The type of questions are not different in phase 1 and phase 2 when we talk about current events. So you have to understand that ESI and finance related current events are to be covered. So guys, topics mentioned in syllabus are your guiding light. You have to know that these are the topics which are related to my syllabus and hence the current affairs related to them are relevant for me. Now, few topics I have listed for you for ESI as well as finance. So, ESI, very easy guys. Health, education, employment generation, economic survey and union budget. If you download the PDF of your syllabus of 2021, you'll see the topics very easily. You'll be able to identify these topics. International economic institutions, gender issues. So these are the topics which are more important as compared to others when we talk about current affairs. Why? Because they involve social issues as well, okay, apart from economy. Talking about finance, one broad term that I want to say related to finance. Current events related to RBI are going to be important. So any action taken by RBI, any framework released by RBI, any notification released by RBI is going to be useful for you. Right, so you have to cover that. So basically, I can say that RBI notifications, which are released on a monthly basis, which are actually released on a daily basis, but we cover in our course on a monthly basis. So you can refer there, right, if you have the course. I hope you know that we are providing a separate notification PDF for RBI that can be easily covered, right? And apart from that, guys, I would say that anything that you find in newspapers related to RBI, if again it is somewhere coming related to your syllabus topic, you should know it is relevant for you. Okay. One more thing I would like to share. Whenever you are reading current events, do make sure that you get an analytical perspective also. Why, guys? Because this paper requires understanding plus factual figures. Why? Because in MCQs, you have to solve the questions involving figures, while in writing descriptive answers, you have to have the analytical tendency also. So both the things are required. If you're missing out on one thing, you are missing out on something big that you have to understand, right? Then, guys, current affairs, when we talk about them, 6 months before the examination are considered to be most crucial. By this, I do not mean that you should not cover more than 6 months. You should, but most crucial is your 6 months before the examination. So these are broadly your current events which are happening on a daily basis related to the syllabus of ESI as well as finance. Okay, moving on. Reports and indices. Now, this is a subset under current affairs because reports are not taking place daily. Reports are usually released by bodies on with a time lag, like 3 months. Even it can be a monthly report, it can be quarterly report, it can be 6 monthly report, it can be annual report. So this you have to understand that reports that are related to the topics mentioned in your syllabus are most relevant. Then, guys, reports which are released by the bodies that are relevant for your exam, which means World Bank. I'm just giving you the example. IMF, World Bank, RCEP is the regional body. So such bodies, when they release the report becomes important. Okay. Now, how to cover the reports? So, guys, coverage of the reports from newspapers is sufficient, which means ideally, see, whenever you cover a report, you should go to the reports PDF, you should find out the executive summary, you should take out the most important figures. But that is not feasible, I hope, because a lot of things are to be covered. So what is most feasible for you is to cover the reports from the newspapers. Why? Because newspaper is going to cover all the important aspects that are impacting the public, right? And this body of examination, RBI, wants to know that are you aware about the important things that are going on impacting public especially, right? So this is the most feasible thing that you should do. Few dimensions are must to be covered. Now, ideally, again, if you are reading newspaper, each and everything should be covered related to that report. But will it not be really good if you are able to identify the dimensions that are most important? Let me give you the example. Who has released this report? What is the theme of this year's report? What are the major findings related to India from this report? What are the major findings of the international level which are mentioned in these reports? So these are the few dimensions that are more important as compared to others. Now, when I say more important, I again want to emphasize, I am not saying that you should not cover other dimensions. If you have time, if you are willing to prepare, revise, and then cover it again and again for the purpose of your revision and writing in your descriptive part, you must go for it. But if you feel that no, it won't be feasible for me, then you should ideally do the most important dimensions from the newspapers, the important newspapers of the most important reports released by the most important bodies, right? So this is the linkage that you have to make. If you are able to understand it, guys, let me tell you, a battle is half won, because you are giving an effort that is concerted, that is in one direction, right? So analytical perspective that you develop while reading the newspapers is of course gonna be helpful in writing your answers while descriptive paper is there, even while answering interview questions, right? So this is about reports and indices. I'll just quickly show you one question that was asked. According to CS Gender 3000 in 2019, Changing Face of Companies report, what is the percentage increase in India's female representation on boards over the past 5 years in the year 2019? So this was a question that was asked in the year 2019. See, this is a report that is related to the gender issues, but I would say this was not a very easy report or not an easy to identify report. Let me tell you, this was a tough question. So, what to do? If we follow this approach, will we be able to answer such questions also? My dear friends, you will be able to follow. Why? Because when you develop the understanding of the requirement of the examination, if any report fulfills, let's say, it's covered in newspaper, it is given in your syllabus, but it is not by an international body, then also you will cover, because you know the requirement of the examination that it fulfills some of the criteria. This report, let's say CS Gender, it's not released by a very important body, but it was covered in newspapers. This dimension that was asked was the headline of the newspaper, okay? And it is related to gender issues, a very important topic I have already shared in the current event section. So this is the understanding that you need to develop from this particular video, right? So I hope this is clear. Reports and indices wala part. Now I'll show you an easy question also, so as to tell you the emphasis, so as to emphasize on the dimensions. Now this was an easy question. World Economic Outlook report is published by. A very easy question. Most of the questions are from the basic dimensions that I have mentioned. But even if difficult dimensions come and you have the understanding of the exam requirement, don't worry. You'll be able to answer the question. If you won't be able to answer the question, no one will be able to answer. I can bet on it, guys. Okay? I will now take you to the third important aspect of your current affairs, government schemes. So, first of all, I want to tell you one thing, guys, here. Government schemes are very important. Why? Because these are the programs launched by the government to reach to the public. Now, again, when public comes into the picture, somewhere your syllabus comes into the picture. So, that means these are automatically important for you. So guys, government schemes that are announced or mentioned in the latest Union Budget and Eco Survey are most important. Why? Again, because the latest initiatives that are taken by the government. So Union Budget and Eco Survey latest, by latest I mean the one that is available just before the examination. Okay, be it 2 months old, be it 3 months old, or be it 1 year old. If your, let's say, exam takes place in the month of December and economic survey was released in January, previous year, then also it will be relevant for you because it is the latest one available, right? Then guys, government schemes that are newly released in past 1 year before the examination are most important. So again, 1 year is important. If you are unable to cover 1 year, at least cover 6 months. When I say 6 months are most crucial, this is what I mean. Government schemes that are old, let's say they were released in 2000 or they were released in 90s. They are old schemes because they are not released in a decade at least, right? Or even 5 years of now. But they were still in news. You must cover that scheme. Why? Because if an old scheme is still running, that means it is relevant even till date. Let me give you an example. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. It was released somewhere in 2016-17, but it is running, helping so many kisan today also. So it is relevant. MG Narega, it is considered to be the lifeline of the people who are living in the rural area or the urban poor, right? So this you have to understand. Again, few dimensions are more important as compared to others. What are these dimensions, guys? These dimensions are, let me show you the example of the scheme. Which of the following is an insurance scheme for persons with disabilities in India? That means you have to, there was a passage given in page 2 of your paper of 2019 where this question was asked. So what is it? Guys, the aim of the scheme that was asked, if you are able to identify the aim of the scheme, you can identify the scheme also. Then in 2015, 4 initiatives were launched along with schemes that was mentioned. Which of the following is not an initiative? So this basically gives you a brief idea that you have to cover the aim of the scheme, the sub-schemes that it entails, the outlay of the budget, the new programs under the scheme that have been launched, what is the criteria to identify the beneficiaries of the scheme. So these are the dimensions that are most relevant for your examination. How do I know these dimensions? Because I have done a detailed analysis of the previous year papers that were shared by RBI. So I know the soul. that is being searched in the examination so as to select you. You have to understand that soul, guys. These are the dimensions. How will you reach till dimensions? If you know the syllabus topics, right? So again, the points that I mentioned in current events topic, health, education, social justice, gender issues are again relevant here, right? So these are broadly the things that you need to cover while you cover current affairs. If you are able to understand and cover these things, guys, again, I would say ideally everything you should do. But if you do these things, you will be able to clear the examination because you are doing pinpointed things that are relevant for the examination, right? So let's move on and see, are you able to answer these questions yourself now? How important are current affairs? I hope you know. What sources to refer? Although I have tried to tell you that these are the things you should cover, newspapers and other PDFs that you're referring, but let me tell you that in our course, we have given defined PDFs for schemes on a monthly basis, defined PDFs for reports and your magazines. So if you have the course, well and good, you do not need to do anything else. If you do not have the course, do not worry. You'll have to search a lot on Google. You'll find monthly magazines are there, schemes documents are there, reports are released. If you're referring to newspaper, refer it thoroughly. So you will be able to clear because you know what you are looking for. Okay, when you are clear about how to look for it, that becomes easy then. When is the right time to start current affairs prep? So guys, I think as of now, if you know the timeline you need to prepare for current affairs, now is the right time to prepare. Why? Because see, from now we are expecting that exam is to take place in 3 to 4 months. So when exam is to take place, 3 to 4 months prior to it is considered to be the best time to cover the current affairs. Why? You will not be running in any lag. You will not have a lot to cover and you won't have less time. So ideal time is to start your prep 3 to 4 months for current affairs before the examination. Now one question, is newspaper mandatory? This question we get when a lot of UPSC aspirants are selected. So non-UPSC background candidates have this concern, is newspaper mandatory? Guys, nothing is mandatory, okay? Why? If you know what are you preparing for, what is the requirement of the examination, nothing becomes mandatory. On the other hand, a few things become mandatory. How? Because again, you know the soul of the examination. So if you are able to take out time and read on a daily basis, it's very good. It will help you to develop the understanding. It will help you to improve your English. It will help you to be in touch with current events. On the other hand, if you are not able to do it, do not worry. All other sources, if you are preparing really well, it will not matter much. Again, because you are working in a pinpointed direction towards the examination. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, what newspapers you want to refer? A lot of newspapers are there. The Hindu Business Line, Live Mint. You can refer to any of those which you are comfortable with. Okay, ji? Now, are government schemes relevant? I hope this answer is now clear to you. Government schemes are relevant. Which ones? That also I have shared with you. So guys, that's it from my end. I really hope that you found this video useful. If you did, please drop in a comment. And I wish you all the very best. I'll catch you up soon for another session related to current affairs for RBI Grade B examination. Bye-bye. Take care. Drop us an email at hello@edutap.co.in for any query that you have.